The Chinese Communist Party, or CCP, has continued to extend the lockdowns and increase the number of control zones around the country. While people's livelihoods in various industries are suffering, 10 listed companies in mainland China that specialize in nucleic acid testing have announced their financial reports for the first half of the year, showing a total net profit of more than 16 billion RMB. Chinese people have criticized these companies for making fortunes out of national misery. Chinese people are angry, anxious, and desensitized by nucleic acid testing. In the past week, the CCP has announced cases of infection in almost every province, and with the authorities insisting on a dynamic zero-COVID policy, people are faced with the uncertainty of being locked down at any time and the anxiety of having to take nucleic acid tests almost every day. Shenzhen is the only place in the world that's doing nucleic acid tests from the beginning of the year to the end of the year. People in Shenzhen are either taking the nucleic acid test or on their way to take the test.
Now we are lining up for nucleic acid tests. We have lined up several times today, and each time it took more than an hour because this system really sucks, making people piling up like this and waiting. The nucleic acid system in Guiyang crashed yesterday during the day, and people were called up at 3:57 a.m. to take the test. The system collapsed again after 20 minutes of waiting in line. We waited until 5 a.m. to line up again.
From the southern economic hubs of Shenzhen and Chengdu to the tourist destinations of Tibet, Xinjiang, and Hainan, the lockdown control has been extended and the number of medium and high-risk areas has been increasing. Currently, such areas have reached over 3,500 with 1,774 high-risk areas and 1,808 medium-risk areas. Chengdu is so empty. I swear, it's the emptiest Chengdu I've ever seen. At first, they said it would be closed for 2 days, but now they say it'll take 3 days. Isn't this killing people?
Now all of Shenzhen requires 24-hour nucleic acid tests. No matter which shopping mall you go to, you must have a 24-hour test result. There are sites everywhere that do nucleic acid tests.
There was also a set of photos circulating online showing that someone in Beijing spray-painted the 8 characters, 3 years I'm all numb, in red paint all over the 8 nucleic acid testing booths. It appears that the characters weren't cleaned up in time. Staff members were present at several booths where people were taking tests. The booth with the word year sprayed on it showed clearly the testing services were provided by the Beijing Jingyingjia Medical Testing Laboratory. In another set of performance art photos, the words freedom or death and demolition were spray painted on several testing booths. Some people also put banners in their windows. Daily nucleic acid ignores science and infinitely disturbs people. These pictures have attracted a lot of public attention. Tens of millions of dollars in nucleic acid testing fees were paid by the people. Who has been enriched by the zero-COVID policy? While the people of China are being grounded and suffering financially, the industries related to the epidemic are making fortunes. The CCP media revealed that 10 listed mainland companies specializing in nucleic acid testing recently announced their financial reports for the first half of the year. Their total revenues amounted to over 48 billion RMB, with a net profit of more than 16 billion. The most profitable company is Da'anjin with a net profit of RMB 4.313 billion, while the company with the smallest increase in profit also increased by 55.1%, and 2 other companies had a growth rate of over 300%. The 2021 financial report released by Sinovac Biotech shows that the total revenue is 125 billion RMB, or approximately $19 billion, and the net profit is 93.3 billion RMB, approximately $14 billion. According to a Voice of America report, the nationwide repeated nucleic acid testing regime has made medical testing companies a huge fortune in China. Since 2020, Jinyu Medicine, the leader in China's testing industry, has a total revenue of 24 billion RMB in 27 months, of which revenue from new coronavirus testing exceeds 7 billion RMB. The Economist reported that Liang Yaoming, the company's chairman, became a billionaire through the epidemic, one of many. In the 2021 Who Run Global Rich List released by the Who Run Research Institute, he ranked 699th in China with a wealth of over 10 billion RMB. In addition, the latest financial report of Hangzhou-based third-party medical diagnostic service provider Dian Diagnostics Incorporated also shows astonishing earnings. In the first quarter of this year, the company's operating revenue was 4.65 billion RMB, up 64% from the same period in the previous year. Net profit was 750 million RMB, an increase of 122% over the same period in the previous year. Its chairman, who sits on 26% of the company's shares, was worth 5.5 billion RMB in 2021. Meanwhile, medical service companies in Shanghai, Changsha, and Guangzhou opened positions for nucleic acid samplers in May, with some paying as much as 20,000 RMB per month. By comparison, the average annual monthly salary for health technicians in China in 2018 was only 7,470 RMB. The public has questioned whether such high salaries may reflect the windfall profits that many medical testing organizations are reaping from this anti-epidemic zero-COVID campaign. People also suspect that these companies are backed by white gloves of powerful communist families that use nucleic acid testing to enrich themselves.